How does the tank not hold that aggro there? Oh wait, we're gonna wipe here. That's... Bro, it's not that quite cut and dry in New World. I really think you should see how it is. It's a different can of beans, New World. What do you mean? What, tanking? No shot. Our tank just fucking left. Tanking is extremely easy in this game. Every tank I've done stuff with, and every freaking article I've seen on tanking, I mean, I haven't done it personally, obviously. I haven't sat there with taunt gems or anything like that, but all you have to do is hit shit. There's no way you can't hold aggro on shit when you have plus 300% taunt or a freaking aggro gem. There's no way anyone else should be getting aggro on them when you have plus 300% aggro. Like, it's just not possible. That right there, that was a shitty pull. That wasn't his, like, tanking ability. He shouldn't have pulled all the way over to here. He should have freaking fought everything back here, over in this room. And then he should have come around to fight this guy who creates the freaking storm. But instead, what does he do? He pulls everything from that room, comes around all the way over here to this guy, and starts fighting this guy as well. So basically what happens is he generates the taunt on these guys, but the guys from that room aren't taunted because they're out of his taunt range. So all these guys come in, they don't have any aggro yet. They get there, and because he can't get them on him with the taunt to generate the initial aggro, I pull that aggro. That was just bad tanking all around. Tanking is not that hard in New World. When you can generate 300% extra aggro over everything else in your party by hitting stuff, come on. There's like no excuse unless you're overpulling and overrunning an area. And the way the dungeons are, just don't rush through it. We have 35 minutes to beat Laz, which takes 15 to 20 minutes to do. 25 if you're like taking a little bit extra time to do stuff, like your DPS is low. How I calculate everything is so hot. I mean, it's not. I'm not even calculating shit though. It's 300% aggro. I can't even do that while healing. The only time I get shit on me when I'm healing is when the tank taunts too early while there's still stuff dragging in because they overran all the mobs. But the dungeons or the expeditions in New World, you just go into a room, sit inside the center, fucking taunt. Everything comes at you, and you swing your sword, and every hit is plus 300% aggro, plus 300% aggro, plus 300% aggro. That's it. I can't out heal. I can't out aggro 300% off of 3 hits. Ugh. I don't mean to get mad about it. That just kind of pissed me off, especially since that guy was a little bitch and he left. New World, out of all the games I've played with tanking, New World does have the easiest tanking because of Carnelian gems. The only time tanking becomes hard in New World is when you overexert your tanking abilities. Man, there's someone else here. Damn it, man. We go into that dungeon, now there's a bunch of people here farming our shit. Alright, so I wanted to give a little bit of heads up on the next part of this video. So I had a feeling I might get a little bit of shit when I had said originally in this video that I've never tanked in New World before. For some clarification, I've actually never tanked in an MMORPG before. I've always been a healer and secondary DPS, but primarily I've always healed in any MMO I played in. Starting all the way back from like World of Warcraft, Runes of Magic, Rift, any other fringe MMO you can think of. Always been a healer. So when I watched that clip back and I saw the part where I had said, oh, I've never tanked before, but I've read and, you know, from what I see, tanking is very easy. I figured I'd probably get a little bit of shit back on that one, possibly inside the comments. So to kind of get ahead of that, the entire next section of this video is my first ever tanking run in New World. I've never tanked before. This was literally the first one. I did an M1, which I know is probably like everybody's gonna say, oh, M1s are super easy, you don't even need tanks, blah, 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 whatever you want to say for it. I don't really care. I did M1 because I've never done a tank run before. I've never tanked in any MMO before, so I didn't want to screw over another group of players just for my selfish reasons of making this video. So yeah, if you want to hate on it because it's M1, I don't care. So yeah, the next like little bit of this video is all going to be just me doing a tank run. I'll throw some music in there. I'll probably do it on like ×2 or ×3 speed. And if you want to skip it, that's perfectly fine. I will give my my thoughts on tanking and my clip before on all of that. I'll give it at the end. So basically like a synopsis of my thoughts of tanking in New World in general, and if I think it's still super easy or if it's actually challenging or not. I do want to clarify though, when I say that I've read up on tanking, that's not just me reading like one article on how to tank in New World. I actually have dedicated a good bit of my time into learning how to tank from like a theoretical or reading standpoint to help my friend who was at the time tanking in New World kind of learn and get better at tanking. So my knowledge of tanking in specifically New World isn't nothing. I actually do know quite a bit about the tanking aspect of the game in terms of like the taunts, abilities, gear, the Carnelian gems, all that stuff. It's pretty simple in my opinion from a reading point, and you know, but I do have a little bit of background in terms of knowledge of tanking. I've just never actually done it myself, so just wanted to clarify that. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this Lazarus M1 run. Alright, you guys, so that was my Lazarus M1 run. You guys can say it was easy because it's an M1 or because the other guys carried me through or whatnot, but I thought I did a pretty good job tanking in that mutation or inside that expedition, especially given that that was the first time in my MMORPG playing career, and we're spanning like forever because I've played MMOs, since forever ago. I've never tanked before. This was the first time ever that I've tanked in a MMORPG, and I felt I did pretty good. And I stand by what I said originally at the beginning of this video. Tanking in New World is super easy. I can't compare it to other MMOs, obviously, because I've never tanked in those MMOs, but given the fact that you only have to worry about 6 abilities, 2 of which should be taunts, because you should have a taunt on each weapon. And given the fact that you have a Carnelian gem, which every hit is generating 300% aggro, I can't see it being harder than, say, Rift or World of Warcraft or Runes of Magic, which have a large assortment of abilities that you have to manage, cooldowns and taunts and stuff like that. I can't see it being harder with just 6 abilities and a 300% aggro generating gem on each weapon. Like, I just can't. And, going through this dungeon, I made sure I, pulled per room. I didn't try to over pull. I didn't try to go crazy with the run or anything like that. Granted, our DPS guys were pretty high DPS guys, and you probably saw a couple times in the run they did. Like, I think the one puzzle area, they jumped ahead of me by a little bit, but I easily ran up and got the aggro. It wasn't even like I had a hard time getting that aggro back, or sometimes I would lose aggro because of how the pool went. Again, super easy for me to just pop a taunt, pull them back in on me. I had 2 taunts the entire time on rotating cooldowns. I made sure they were rotating. I didn't just pop them both right away. And I made sure I was hitting everything. I think the biggest hurdle to get over to was the gear that I ran during this expedition. And I felt really shitty because I got rid of that gear. I have actually better tanking gear now because I was like, oh, this could be fun in the future to try, making another tank video for an M2 or something. I sadly don't have that gear anymore, and I thought about that as I was rewatching the run the other day. I was like, oh man, I wish I could have gone back and shown you guys my gear breakdown, because it was literally a medium armor set. I had I think it was a round shield, so I didn't even have a tower shield. It was just a round shield. So it was just like, it was a ragtag group, medium armor, rag thing of armor. So I wasn't even, in my opinion, I wasn't even properly geared to tank because, obviously, in my opinion, a tank wants heavy armor, so you're not taking as much damage. You can take a lot of hits because that's what you're there to do. You are there to hit everything and have stuff hit you, and you're going to take damage. So wearing medium gear, I was susceptible to taking more damage, which you saw actually in that one puzzle where they divide everybody up into 3 rooms. I'm in the tanks inside the middle. I ended up dying in there because I had medium armor and stuff like that. It was just bad. So that was actually the only point that I think anyone died in that group, was at that middle puzzle, which I thought was pretty good. I thought it was very successful that no one died during that whole run. There was no major, like, oh my gosh moments. I held aggro pretty much the entire time. I felt like I did pretty good, and overall synopsis, I stand. New World tanking is easy for someone who's never tanked at all inside the game and has only read articles on it. Now, granted, I've read a lot of articles on tanking in New World because, like I said, I think I said at the beginning of the run, I did do a lot of research on tanking to help a friend who was tanking in New World at the time. So I don't think much has changed since I read those articles. So I just used my knowledge from those articles and some basic knowledge from New World, and I ran that run. But yeah, so that's my synopsis. Feel free to comment down below if you agree with it, if you don't agree with it. You can even give me advice on the run as well. I don't think I'm really going to be going down the tanking road inside the future, but I'm always welcome to hear like what people think I could have done better, or like, advice on tanking or stuff like that. Especially as a healer main, I'm not a tank, so I don't know all the information. Maybe there's some stuff that I could have known that I don't, or stuff like that. I will say one hard thing about tanking. So here you go, any tanks that think New World tanking is hard. I will say it was kind of rough when my DPSs would start shooting and stuff before I had aggro, or before I got into the room and did a taunt, or sometimes the healer would cast like Sacred Ground before I got a taunt off, which I know from being a healer myself, it does happen and it does draw aggro. But again, I thought I was able to pick up any preemptive offloaded aggro pretty quick back onto myself. Another iteration of tanking in New World being fairly easy to regain aggro. So yeah, but yeah, feel free to leave some comments down below. Feel free to hit me up on my Twitch and YouTube live streams. I stream Monday through Thursday, starting at 6 p.m. Eastern, going till about 9:30, 10 p.m. Eastern. And yeah, so feel free to check me out. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Take it easy, keep being awesome. I'll see you guys inside the next one. All right, bye-bye.